Good time zone, everyone, and welcome to the Fallout TV series on Amazon Prime, Episode 1, Podcast Aftertalk. I'm your host, Indiana underscore Minotaur, an autistic retro and RPG content creator on Twitch and YouTube, as well as TikTok. I do apologize in advance that this is the only thing you're going to be getting. Instead of an episodic reaction and then a podcast episode after talk. Since I don't have an official editor, I don't want to stay up on ungodly hours just to make sure that the episodic reaction gets out on a timely and efficient manner. That's what happened with Deadwood, unfortunately, when I was doing those episodic reactions. So instead of doing that, I'm going to just do the podcast format instead. The podcast is going to have full-blown spoilers, but if you want a minimalistic non-spoiler review, here you go. Essentially, the show for its first episode captures the spirit of Fallout in every way possible. There's some issues for me anyway. The sudden call to adventure for two particular characters, and other than that, the spirit and aesthetics were captured very well. Congrats to Jonathan Nolan and Todd Howard, and 4 out of 5. So there we go. There is the minimalistic non-spoiler review of the first episode, and probably for the whole show. But we're talking about episode 1. So going forward, we're going to be talking about full spoilers here. So if you want to listen in on it, then leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as give a follow on the for the podcast. It helps me. It helps the channel on YouTube. And without further ado, let's talk about spoilers in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So the show is directed by Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, starring Ella Prunell as Lucy, a Vault 33 dweller. Walter Goggins as Cooper Howard, the Ghoul. Aaron Moten as Maximus, a Brotherhood of Steel novice turned squire. The show is based on the Interplay Bethesda Game Studios video game IP, and I cannot believe I just said that because it just blows my mind that this is a reality, that we're getting an actual TV show from Bethesda, right? For we there has been so much dreaming of like, oh, what would a Fallout show look like? What would an Elder Scrolls television show look like? And we finally got it. So hopefully this hopefully we'll get an Elder Scrolls television show, but I'm not gonna have high hopes for that. This season is only 8 episodes. 45 minutes to 74 minutes long. Please be aware that all episodes are now live. They're not gradual releases. And that is the biggest criticism I can have for this show, is the fact that this show dropped all at once. That's totally unnecessary. I think the gradual spoon feeding needs to happen because, 8 episodes is great, right? Quality over quantity. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, will people be talking about this weeks, months from now? Years? Or, but hey, if it gets to season 2, then, in 8 episodes again, then more power to them, right? Let's just get into it. So I'm going to break it down between the Ghoul, Lucy, and Maximus, and where we're going to go from there. So, Cooper Howard. The episode opens up with Cooper Howard, a former military veteran who fought in the Sino-American War. For those who don't know the Fallout lore, the Sino-American War is when China invades Anchorage, Alaska, and they fought against the Chinese when the Chinese were trying to the communist China when they were trying to take the last precious reserves of oil. If you want to know more about the pre-war era, I recommend go watching Kings and Generals' secondary channel called Wizards and Warriors, where they talk about the Resource War in broader detail. But if you want the Cliff Notes version, then come and then check out my video, What is Fallout? He's at a party. Apparently he's also a TV star. And it's kind of clear that people kind of don't want them there, but the son really loves westerns apparently. Already the first few 7 minutes of this episode oozes the spirit of Fallout in every way possible. From the costumes to the set design to the world weariness of like the war and the potential like doomsday, right? The TV commercials with sugar bombs and Grognak the Barbarian. It was all really well done. Right up until the bombs fell, and even when the bombs were falling, that was also beautiful too. Where Cooper Howard's daughter was talking to him about like, oh, why wouldn't you put your thumbs up anymore? And he tells her essentially war is bad, and he did a lot of bad things during the war and whatnot. He doesn't want to ruin his daughter's innocence. And then as I guess he was like inside or whatever, wants to grab a piece of cake or whatever, I don't know. His daughter sees the mushroom cloud, or rather the big plume of smoke in the distance. She puts her thumbs up, looking at the distance and asking her father, is it bigger than her thumb? And he looks at it with such conviction. Like, Goggins did a fantastic job at displaying and capturing the horror of it all, because this party takes place on October 23rd, 2077, the end of the world in the Fallout timeline. And I just love it how, while they were looking on in sheer horror, and he tries to calm his daughter down, saying that, oh, that's just a fire gone out of control. It's fine. As he realizes it's a mushroom cloud, you see people in the background at the party just enjoying the party and not really realizing what's going on. And then the glass shatters from the shockwave of the explosion. Everyone who was friendly that day are just like, fuck you, I'm getting the fuck out of here, essentially. The host family sucker punches a neighbor for wanting to get into the fallout shelter that he built for his family. People were doing the old duck and cover method, thinking that the cars will protect them or anything solid will protect them. And then Cooper takes his daughter and rides off into whatever safety they can find. And then we jump into 219 years later, with Lucy, Ella Prunell's character, who is, I guess, being offered to breed. That's exactly because much like the pre-war era, they captured the innocence of the vault dwellers so well. The only world that they know is their own. And I love like Lucy's dialogue at the beginning of her part of the episode, where she talks about her skills, her speech skills, her martial skills, her gun skills, her science skills, her all the skills that she could possibly list that she was good at. And it was so well done. You're like, oh my god, this is like a video game. This is like the video game basically. And hell, like her teacher's assistant, the one with the fork in her eye, if you watch the trailer, who's pregnant, she does like the Fallout Boy thumbs up. And I thought it was really well done. And of course you have Kyle MacLaren's character. If you watch Twin Peaks, then you know exactly who I'm talking about, who is the overseer named Hank. He talks about hope, about how by being prepared, by learning all these things, we can show the world outside, whoever's left, that there's hope. And he talks about hope this and hope that. And then of course we get Vault 32. Spoiler alert, if it's already obvious, these people were sus as all hell. The vibe checks were going through the roof in the red. Like, do not trust these mother effers, right? And and that's the thing that I will criticize about the episode, is that it was too obvious that the people were sus the moment they walk in. And what's also beautiful too is that also another thing to note, and what's also beautiful too, is the sounds of the Pip Boy, where Lucy gets her quest updates or notifications of quest updates, the Geiger counter going off, and then Lucy's brother playing Missile Command on his Pip Boy, much like in Fallout 4. But yeah, clearly the vibe checks were definitely off because yikes. And you could clear like, and even like the moment where Lucy brings her husband in, this is also pretty crazy that they actually showed Woohoo in Fallout. And I love that it's sort of a gag too at the same time because you play Fallout Shelter, then you would know that all you would see is like hearts going off in the background as the Vault Dweller do the deed and whatnot. And then in Fallout New Vegas and in Fallout 4, you just get a fade to screen and that's it, right? Um Fade to black and fade out from black, right? And you can already tell, like, that wouldn't be a Vault Dweller who would just go all naked and all that, you know. That's actually very weird to do that. But it was clear if it's already not known to you yet, dear listener. The guy was clearly a raider because he had scars and stuff that shouldn't be obtainable unless you were from the outside. Maybe you had surgery, but even then, the way the look of his overall like body and poise and everything, right? You know, and the fact that he was just chugging down the water like his life depended on it. It's like, oh, he's from the outside, and that's the one thing I didn't like about the whole vault sequence. Uh, is just that it was just too apparent that these people did not pass the vibe check. You know, Lucy and the survivors fight off to the best of their abilities, but unfortunately Hank gets captured by the overseer. And I say this in quotations. Hank leaves with them, and Vault 33 is changed forever. Clearly, much like Vault 101. If you haven't played Fallout 3, then in Fallout 3, your father leaves Vault 101 for the Wasteland. At some point in the story of Fallout 3, you'll get a call to come back to Vault 101. The whole aesthetic is changed. It went from a friendly vault that knows everybody, that supports everybody, to a schism in the vault between those who want to go to the outside and those who want to remain trapped here forever, basically. And it's the same thing here, where the council doesn't want to go to the outside to rescue Hank. They consider him an expendable asset. They didn't want him in the vault to begin with, which was totally screwed up because even like her Lucy's brother was saying it too. Lucy's brother portrayed by um the Moses Arias, Norm immediately knows right off the bat that yeah, you clearly do not pass the vibe checks. They clearly don't want father in charge, and of course they will lose all that power. And Lucy just couldn't believe it that these people would easily not fathom about going to the outside, you know. But again, playing into the Fallout 3 side of like, no, we got to stay put and band together and be strong for the vault. Of course, that was a lie because Lucy ends up going to the outside and it kind of plays off to like the Fallout 3 exit from the vault and Fallout 4's exit from the vault where the light blinds you for a bit and then you know you get Santa Monica, a post-apocalyptic Santa Monica. Lucy says, "Okay, let's do this." And she goes off on her adventure to find her father, much like from Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, except Fallout 4, it was. No, it's actually like Fallout 4 when I think about it. No, it's actually Fallout 3 when I think about it now, where it's like the son or daughter was finding the father, James, in Fallout 3. And then Fallout 4, it was the father finding the son or mother, depending upon if you played as Nora or a female lone wanderer in Fallout 3. But yeah, um, then we get another cut to the third protagonist of the show, Maximus. Maximus. You cannot sit there and tell me you were not thinking Gladiator when you saw his name. You're like, what the? Okay, that's a cool ass name, but okay. Um, and so the episode opens up at a Brotherhood of Steel camp, and you know he's training with novices, and well rather he's getting beat up by novices. He's getting picked on for whatever reason, you know, bullied and whatnot. And at some point his friend Dane uh gets promoted to Squire to go on a mission for the Brotherhood of Steel, except she can't. Because unfortunately, Dane gets injured. Now, for context, I know some people are going to say, but if you look at the IMDb for the actress portraying Dane, they have a pronoun of he, they, and she. So I want to point that out that Zelia Mendez Jones, his pronouns are he, they, and she. Just want to point that out real quick before I continue. So Dane gets injured, Maximus gets accused, and then for whatever reason, they said, okay, you're promoted to Squire for whatever reason, whether as punishment or the elder sees potential in him. I don't know. They apparently saw something in him that was like, okay, I believe you, so you get squired, apparently. And what's funny, because Dane tells Maximus that they asked Dane if Maximus was responsible, and Dane's like, couldn't even hurt a fly. And so he goes on this mission with his knight in tow, with other knights and squires, because apparently he is tasked to find an Enclave deserter. Yes, the Enclave are alive and well, apparently, in the Fallout TV show. How are they alive and well? I have no idea, and I hope that we're gonna see more of that as we come along here in the show, because this is only episode 1. So it'll be very interesting to see how they answer that question. Maybe this was a Splinter Cell. Maybe they were like, nah, we don't believe that they got destroyed at the oil rig and at Raven Rock. But, so yeah, apparently, this person has a GEC, or I would like to say some package at least. I don't want to call it a GEC and it's just something else, but I'm going to call it a GEC because it's a small little case that's supposed to change the course of the wasteland. And Dane Maximus is tasked to find this object for the Brotherhood of Steel. From the High Council from the Commonwealth. Yes, you heard that right. The High Council from the Commonwealth dictates this order to this Brotherhood of Steel chapter. So he goes on the vertibird, takes off, and then we go back to Walton Goggins' character, much like from the intro. Let me just stop right here and talk about the VFX. One more VFX. So the VFX are absolutely amazing. The Brotherhood of Steel T60 power armor is amazing. Callbacks to Fallout 4's power armor station. Everything about this first episode, again, oozes the aesthetics and spirit of Fallout. Of Fallout. I can't even begin to describe how beautiful it all looked. But yeah, we come back to Goggins' character. Apparently, he was taking a dirt nap. And then he was told by 3 random bounty hunters that apparently that there is a bounty, a large bounty, that's been called forth to bring this man, the Enclave deserter, back to, dead or alive or whatever. Cooper takes him out. I like how one of the other bounty hunters had like a junk jet too. I thought, and the sound too from the junk jet emanates from the game as well. So I thought it was pretty freaking awesome. So yeah, he kills his the other bounty hunters. He works alone and he walks off into the distance with title card for the credits. Yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, or well, not at the beginning of this episode, but rather like the minimalistic non-spoiler review, is that this episode captured the spirit of Fallout very well. My only 2 complaints about this episode is the call to adventure for both Maximus and Lucy. Lucy's call to adventure was too on the, like, you already, like, the people from Vault 2, they tell the story and it doesn't make any sense, and it's like, wait a minute, like, I know that, but shouldn't all be dead or malnourished? Or, but no, they look like they've seen some shit, like they've been to the outside once or twice, right? And then you have Maximus's character that gets accused of something he didn't do. He goes to this weird tribunal, I guess, and then he gets promoted to squire just to go on this quest for the Brotherhood. So it doesn't it's very weird. It's very weird and odd, you know. Um how they handle that. I liked, the I like the weird neck breaking Easter egg thing they had for Maximus's backstory of how he was rescued by Brotherhood of Steel Knight, much like the Mando in Mandalorian who got saved by Death Watch. He came out of a refrigerator, much like the Fallout 4 quest, and the controversial moment in Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So you have a Disney IP callback, a Disney IP Easter egg on top of a Fallout Easter egg. So I thought that was really funny. But aside those two nitpick issues and the episodes all dropping out at once, again, the episode captured the spirit and aesthetic of Fallout 4 very well. Not Fallout 4, but Fallout in general. I still can't believe that we got a television show from a video game IP that I've grown up to know and love. From Fallout 3 to Fallout 4 to Fallout New Vegas. I'm saying it about order, but like, wow, I will also point out too that we don't know when or not they're going to do the Fallout 4 next gen update. They talked about it at least twice over the course of this year. Once last year and I believe one sometime this year. So please be aware that they might do a shadow drop, they might not. Don't If you're playing a modded Fallout 4 or any Fallout 4, then don't have don't have your game set to automatic update. Make sure you turn that off because it will ruin your modded playthrough for Fallout 4. But well, there's something much else to say after that. But leave a like, comment, and subscribe on this YouTube podcast video. And then if you enjoyed the podcast on Spotify, give it a follow. Yes, this podcast is very new, very experimental. I hope that I'm having fun with this. I'm having fun with this. It also helps me to be more socially interactive because I'm a very social recluse and I'm not getting, a lot of outdoor time other than my real job. So having a podcast and just streaming, making YouTube content makes me happy, makes me self-aware of that there's a world out there. But yeah, the episode two's podcast after talk will drop tomorrow, since obviously this will be uploaded very late, it's like 11:45 p.m. So I will see you all tomorrow, or yeah, catch this podcast, catch episode 2 tomorrow, and yeah, you all have a good time zone. Bye bye.